of Atlanta, episode 3, Party in a Sweatbox, and I got my husband to join us. He's really excited to do the recap with me tonight. Okay, so we start off with Portia and Phaedra getting a colonic, which is literally the worst thing I have ever seen. Like, it makes me wonder how...
They showed it?
Well, I mean, they didn't, like, show it, but they had her, like, on this table with this blanket over her, discussing it. You know, should I be pushing? And I thought... Oh.
Are you serious? I'm
Yeah.
so glad I missed that.
Yeah, you were outside looking for your knife. Anyway, it was awful. Awful. Okay, it makes me wonder how desperate Portia is to have airtime, if that's what she's willing to do. Because I'm like, I'm pretty desperate to be on reality TV. Pretty sure you couldn't get me to do that.
Guess it depends what the paycheck is, huh?
I know, seriously. They mentioned Duke, and so I've had thoughts about Duke this week. First of all, he dated a reality star. Okay, as much as you want to call her a star. Secondly, he agreed to be filmed. It's not like they, like, jumped out from behind a bush and filmed him. He was, like, you know, wired up and all that. Then lastly, he agrees to do a party to meet her friends and family on a reality show. Then he shows up and he's like, oh, this is an awful lot. Dude, what were you expecting? Like, it's pretty clear cut. Like, hey, we're going to do a going away party with my friends and family. And then it's a going away party with her friends and family. And he's, like, surprised. So I don't know if he's, like, stupid or if he's just so, like, I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I don't know what his deal is. I just know that I don't really think she's dumb. A lot of people are giving her a hard time about this, like, oh, silly girl. But I'm like, you know, it seems pretty cut and dry to me that he knew what he was getting into. Anyway, let's get back. Candy and Todd talk about the conversation with Phaedra. I don't care. Move on. There's a fun run for charity, and Portia does it. We see like 15 seconds of her running. That's it. Not very interesting. Then we get here at the Moore hair care product line, which I guess she's been working on for 4 or 2 years or something. I'm interested. I have hair. I mean, I don't have African-American hair, but I have hair. Some products work for more than one hair type. Anyway, I'm interested in it. Cynthia isn't talking to Peter, so they're like in separate states, or not separate states, they're in different, no, they are separate
Charlotte's
states.
North Carolina.
Okay, so. I don't know where Charlotte is. I don't spend a lot of time back east. I barely spend any time, I pretty much just right here is where I live. Anyway, so yeah, separate states, and I guess when they're apart, they just don't talk, which was really surprising to me. I don't know how other marriages work, but I know that like when we're apart, we usually talk daily. It's very rare for us not to talk daily, or at least text or something. So her saying, oh, we haven't talked in a week, I'm like, ooh, that's not good.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly there's some problems. Then we see Kim Fields and her husband. What do you think of her husband?
I like the shirt.
He had a deer hunting shirt on.
He was a pretty funny guy.
And he was a pretty funny guy, yeah. So far, right now, Kim and her husband, who I don't remember his name, are my favorite people on the show. Of course, she hasn't said much, so we'll find out. But so far, I really like her, especially when she talks about like not getting out much or doing this or that. I was like, hey, that sounds like me. Anyway, so they go to this party. Kendra doesn't show up forever. She does show up, but apparently it's just hot as crap. Everyone's fanning themselves. And she goes outside. Her date, I don't know anything, his name is Eugene. Phaedra made some bizarre comment about meeting him at the dermatologist. I don't know what that means. Everyone was like, every single interview was like someone throwing mad shade about something. And I was like, wow, everybody's really... Like,
well, if you've been watching a while, Kendra kind of deserves it from the first season or two. And now she's getting
Kendra?
it. Whatever. Yeah.
Kenya?
Whatever.
Kenya, but Phaedra, but Portia's got a problem with everybody.
But now it's coming, and if you don't have any history, you're like, oh man, they're all mean to her, but
well, yeah.
She was kind of crazy before.
Well, she still is. It's just one of those things where you just go, everybody in the show basically hates each other. That doesn't bode well for a good season when you start out with everybody hating. Normally they start the season somewhat good and they slowly descend into madness and then they have a small uptick and they more or less make up, and then the next season you kind of start high, maybe a couple, but like no one likes anyone. Phaedra doesn't seem to like anyone right now. She kind of seems almost okay with Candy. Almost. And she likes Portia. Portia hates everyone. Anyway, so there's parties going on. Everybody's like, oh, and her hair care. This is why I like Candy, is because she's like, if I'm trying to launch a product, it's kind of, I kind of don't want my friends showing up saying nasty things at it. Which, yeah, is polite. I mean, like, you might say it at home in private to your dear friends, but maybe not on, like, the TV show or to the person's face or something like that. That is how classy ladies talk smack about each other. You do it with their friends, or apparently on a video blog, because I'm going to say that counts as well. Anyway, then Peter and Cynthia have this really inauthentic conversation, and it was just kind of bizarre, because it just didn't, you see people and you can tell, like, oh, that's crazy, but that's real. I felt like it was bizarre. Like, they sat down ahead of time and said, we should say that we're not in love anymore, and then agree to try to work things out, and that way we have a storyline. And that's what a lot of people on Twitter think, is that it's now, that was not my first thought when people said that. I was like, I do believe him being caught is probably real, and I've been saying for a while there was problems with their marriage. But then I saw the conversation, and I was like, what did you think of it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember? We just saw it like 2 seconds ago.
Oh, that conversation.
That conversation like 2 seconds ago, and then we hit the play button, the record button. Did you think it was real?
I don't care.
Okay. You're the worst recapping partner. Do you have any opinion on it? Did you think real, or did you think bad acting?
It was really bad acting.
Okay, there you go. Now you heard what John's opinion is. We'll see you guys later.